Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. Today we're looking at Mage, the Hero Discovered, #1 by Matt Wagner, one of my all-time favorite comic books. I'm so excited to share it with you. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button and let's get right into it. Look at this puppy. Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I love Kamiko. I love Mage. Grendel, one of my favorite books. I feel like I discovered Grendel first and had to retroactively like collect Mage, and it wasn't the easiest thing to gather, trust me, but I did it and I loved it and it's amazing, and that is what we're looking at today. I think Matt Wagner was like so revolutionary with his coloring. I think his coloring was way ahead of his art ability, but the art ability definitely caught up. And it's fun to see the evolution of an artist in these early stages. In the opening page, he talks about how this is like far from the first incarnation of Mage and probably won't be the last. And it is one of a great, series. uh, Over using like sort of King Arthur as a backdrop. It's about a hero, like finding his power and coming into his own. Letters, Robert Pinaha, and I believe that Matt is doing everything else. Sam Keith would eventually come on as the anchor, and that took it to the level it needed. I feel like Matt Wagner is definitely like from the same cut from the same cloth as Frank Miller, like just like undeniable talent, like strength, and his figure work and storytelling is probably like the #1 strength. And started out kind of rudimentary, but then grew and evolved and got like much better as time progressed as an artist. Very revolutionary. I think he was doing like airbrush coloring at the time, and just looked really different from anything else. I love Kevin Matchstick, the protagonist of the story, with his lightning bolt shirt. I had a graffiti Mage t-shirt that I wore to death. It was one of my favorite shirts. I loved it so much. I love Mirth. Mirth is like the Merlin of this. And yes, I love that too. Straight from the cover, right? I like when the cover has an image that is actually in the comic book. That seems so much. And I would like directly, I think the fault lies with Jim Lee for changing that, because I feel like on the X-Men he started doing a lot of like stand and pose covers, and really popularized those and sort of changed the landscape. I mean, I could be wrong. That's just kind of my opinion, but it's funny because looking at this, it's like, Matt Wagner was so young, and it's almost like looking at someone's like portfolio in a way. You know what I mean? Like, like I'm showing perspective here. I'm showing storytelling. I don't know. And these like white, shapeless, they're almost like the Men in Black in a way. It's so funny because rereading this for this, it's so near and dear to my heart, but I haven't read it in so long and like had such an impact on me. But I was immediately reminded of just how drawn in I was and how sucked into this world and the plight of, Kevin Matchstick, and how easy it was to get absorbed in this world. I don't know, all these years later, with superheroes being rehashed and redone and mined to death at this point, there's still just something so thrilling about this sort of, you know, uh, classic, like, unsung hero, like, almost anti hero, like, sort of somebody who's just, like, so average or seemingly pedestrian, sort of just, I don't know, coming into their own. But look at Kamiko. I mean, oh my gosh, like Elementals actually was my first Kamiko book, and then it was Grendel and Mage, and like I love so much Johnny Quest, and everything they did was so brilliant. One of the best publishing companies ever, with a sad short shelf life, literally. It's funny how I think it really benefited him that he was coloring it himself so he could make up for like that's a great panel there. I mean, this shows that, you know, the talent that Matt Wagner already had underneath, like his understanding of color and just the way the color is really telling a story just as much as the art here. And I think that is, something that was different for this time, especially when comics books first started being printed in color. I think it was like just they had to get the job done and like anybody was doing it. But I think Matt is just like one of those well-rounded artists who has just as much talent with color as he does everything else. So, I mean, if you follow him on Facebook, he posts a lot of commissions and like pinups and projects and just like always a revelation. Just like obviously very different from this, but this is like a time capsule. It's like so like cool just to see this. I love this too. It's such a sign of the times, Mirth, like levitating this Rubik's Cube. I mean, Rubik's Cubes were ridiculously like an obsession. So it's kind of fun to have that like footnote in history because it's such a realistic sign of the times. Grackleflint, we're just getting started, people. But then again, it's like so funny because, I'm heaping all this praise, but at the same time, it's very, very, like indie looking, very like underground comics, very a little. I hate to say messy in a way, but you know what I mean. It's like obviously mainstream comics are a lot more polished, and you wouldn't see this, but mainstream comics would catch up and understand and realize how great, you know, artists like this and art like this and storytelling like this is and can be. Yeah, I mean, especially when Sam Keith comes on as anchor, like it is so like next level, so good. But I love Matt Wagner, and this first issue is just like such a classic. Like I don't know, you can almost hear the sound effects when you read this. It really comes to life. Such a great book. And such an impactful last page. And Grundle, I mean, come on. I never had like they were always so expensive, and they always still are. Like the like original 3 issues that Matt published of Grundle. I don't even think I've ever read them, or maybe have. I don't know, but either way, Grundle is my true Matt Wagner obsession. But I absolutely love Mage, and cannot wait to share the next issue with you. That was so much fun. What a moment in time. Mage, such a great book. I mean, a total classic. I feel like, Grendel is so much more on the zeitgeist, and Mage deserves, like, so much more. Like, talk about it. This would make a great movie, too. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. That was Mage #1 by the amazing Matt Wagner. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button, and I will bring you more soon.